Hi, everyone. It's Tessa.
And Joe.
From the Unveiling Paradise podcast.
Tessa, summer is almost here, and so many of our listeners are about to have their epic destination wedding.
And we are so excited for you guys.
Before the big day, guys, we want you to make sure you listen to these 3 episodes.
Episode 62, Deep Diving Your Wedding Ceremony.
Episode 53, Questions Your Wedding Guests Will Ask.
And episode 31, the final countdown to your wedding day.
And if you're planning your wedding here in Hawaii, hit us up and ask us about our Unveiling Paradise podcast promo.
Happy planning. Hey, Jet Setters, we are so excited to be back for season 2, episode 2. Hey, Joe.
Hey, what's up, Tessa? So today, as we promised, we are finally bringing on our guests. We're so excited. This is going to be a show that is, I think, going to be a lot of fun because we actually have not only a couple that's just gotten married, but they're also wedding professionals themselves.
Right. They are a powerhouse couple in this industry. This is Megan and Andrew Tran. They have Redefined Weddings. Andrew also has a podcast, Uncut Hawaii. If you haven't listened, listen. It's amazing. And we're just excited to have them here. They are so relevant because they had not 1, not 2, correct me, but 3 weddings. 2 of them destinations, so we are dying to hear all about it.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us. We're so honored to be your first guest.
Yay!
I know, we're excited.
Technically, our daughters were our first guest.
Yep.
So you're our first
guest.
Second,
You're our first invited guest.
Oh, okay. There we go.
So welcome.
So you guys have been in the wedding industry for a while. Like, give us a little background.
Yeah, I mean, me personally, I've been in the wedding industry for over 10 years now. You know, in high school or growing up, actually, my dad was in the wedding industry. So I kind of followed in his footsteps. I was going through the medical background at first, then decided just to be full-time media. But out of high school, you know, I reached out to people like you, remember that time, like 10 years ago?
Right,
like, hey, let me shoot, I would love to learn more about this industry. I met Tessa, Tana, the Wedding Cafe, everything was so amazing. And just the industry here, I realized was something so much bigger. It was something I really loved and wanted to be a part of. So kept my roots in it, learned more, and then eventually started my own wedding business.
So Andrew, you're our in-house videographer guru, like one of the best videographers, cinematographers on the island. But also Megan is probably the most organized person that I've ever met. She is the studio manager that makes everything happen. So how's it like to work together as a couple and make magic happen for couples?
We actually work pretty well together. Would you say so?
Yeah. No, she's so organized. Tells me where I need to be, and I'll be there.
Yeah, so I do all the back of house stuff. I talk to the couples. I work with their coordinators, their other vendors, get everything ready, and then I tell Andrew where he needs to be for the wedding.
Mm-hmm. And that's so important. And honestly, what I love is, pre-Megan, sometimes we hear back from Andrew, sometimes we don't.
Oh my God, I know.
But with Megan, it is a quick text, always reply back, like, hey, just following up, so she's so good at what she does.
Thank you.
It's good, because like with every business and whatnot, it takes multiple people and, playing on everyone's strengths and whatnot. Megan's really good and organized. And then she lets me be just like creative. I connect with the couple. We get to just talk, hang out. And then Megan just handles everything else. Like make sure we get paid, make sure the vendors get paid. And then make sure I'm at the right place at the right time. So,
right.
Yeah, it's really good. And we work well together and I'm super grateful.
It's a great partnership. It's like Joseph and I. One of us is the funny one of us is not. But it works well.
It's me, by the way, the funny one.
Yeah, I think Joe's the funny one.
And the show is over.
All right, well, let's get into our show. Before we start, we're going to get into it with you guys. You guys have all your expertise as being inside the industry, but you guys also have planned multiple weddings, right?
Yep.
Destination and local weddings. So you guys, I feel are the perfect guest for us, because our show is really about how to make the wedding planning process smooth, especially when you're planning a destination wedding. You guys are our pros today. So let's get into it.
Welcome to Unveiling Paradise, your go-to destination wedding podcast. I'm Tessa, wedding planner and owner of Fred & Kate Events.
And I'm Joe, wedding and adventure photographer of Joseph Esser Photography. We are based in Hawaii, one of the biggest, most popular locations for destination weddings.
We want to share our real-life experiences with you, give you insight from a professional's perspective, and still make sure you're having fun in the process.
We're huge believers in the fact that planning a destination wedding can be one of the most amazing experiences, and we want to bring you along.
We're so excited to talk with you about weddings, Hawaii, and everything else under the sun.
So pack your bags and let's get started.
All right, so welcome to today's show. We have Megan and Andrew from Redefined Weddings, and we're going to ask you a bunch of questions, and we want your insight. We want all your tips as pros and as newlyweds, how to plan a destination wedding, how to do it, successfully, and like, what did you guys actually experience? Now, just for the record, for all our listeners, you guys did 3 weddings.
Yeah, 3 weddings.
I don't know anyone that's had 3 weddings to the same person. Like,
And the crazy thing is, all 3 of them just looked better and better.
okay, so let's break it down. So tell us about, you had 3 weddings. So where were they? Like, how did you guys come up with 3 weddings?
So our first one was in 2021 at Lani Kuhonoa. It was just super intimate. It was during COVID. It was just our immediate families. We wanted to do it, make sure our grandparents could be able to be there. That was really important to us because we knew we wanted to go to Italy as our wedding. But obviously they're not going to travel literally halfway around the world for that. So it was really important. And then our second one was in Vegas. It was actually during our bachelorette party. We had a joint one, and I just thought it was going to be so fun to have all our like really close friends there. We were already legally married, so like signing the papers weren't a big deal, and we just had a really good time.
Yeah, she had this idea to get married by Elvis, and I was just, I'm going with the flow. She told me where I needed to be. I was like, I'll be there. It was so much fun because it was like super casual, super fun, like no stress at all. It's like, let's just do this. All of our friends are there. We got on a party bus, got drunk, got there. She walked down the aisle with Elvis, and then we just had fun, all day, and it was just fun, so.
That's awesome.
Well, and the crazy thing is, did you guys hear, we talked about this before, but they were suing, right?
Yeah, so it was around that time.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So, like, you can't have Elvis anymore.
Yep.
Quick background, right? So there was like a cease and desist for all the Vegas chapels that had Elvis as like, Elvis's copyright, who were Elvis was marrying couples, and that just kind of come to an end. And then you guys have one more location, right?
So the grand finale was our destination wedding in Italy.
Yeah.
And the reason for that was, we filmed so many destination weddings in Hawaii. They come to Hawaii, they create the experience for their guests, their friends and family. And we want to do the same. And Italy, it was a destination that we both enjoyed together. She loves pasta. We both love wine. And we're like, perfect place, let's all go out there, have a good time. So we had like 38 of our friends and family travel out, and we had a party.
That's amazing.
Amazing. And what's really fun is like we actually talk a lot about choosing those locations for your wedding. Mm-hmm. When you do a local wedding, you can bring your family. So it's actually funny to hear you say like that's exactly why you had a local wedding here in Hawaii. Mm-hmm. And then those destinations, it's like, what is that thing that makes you guys, come together as a couple? Vegas, it is the party, right? Yeah. And Italy is that special place for you guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Had you guys been to Italy before the wedding?
I went once in high school, but we haven't gone together.
Yeah. So we went to Paris for another friend's wedding like a few years back. So we got to explore Europe and everything. And then we were like, we want to do this. And so we're like, let's pick Italy. Let's just figure it out and let's do it, And yeah, it was a nice progression because yes, COVID kind of changed things up for a lot of people. And then so we were forced to do that little small intimate wedding. And it was nice because it was just good timing. Our grandparents were able to make it, and it was just nice just to get legally married. Yeah, and then you said the Vegas party, and then leading to the grand finale. So
yeah, and like we're all about experiences. We love experiences. Like we don't give Christmas or birthday gifts to each other. We'd rather go on a trip, experience something new, rather than just give each other something for the sake of doing it.
Yeah,
I love that you guys are in the wedding industry, and that you love weddings so much that you had 3 of them.
I know.
I love weddings.
You literally checked off every single box, right? Like local wedding to hit the grandparents and make sure your family could be there. Just that party in Vegas wedding, and then like the over-the-top destination.
Yeah.
So because you are wedding vendors too, was there anything that kind of surprised you being on the other side of the planning process?
Yeah, I think like the most surprising part about being on the other side of things was like actually going through the whole process of that, and like, because when couples talk to us, it's just one thing, video or photo. But it's like for us, when we were on that side, we were talking to every vendor, and we were like, okay, we have to connect with everyone. There's a long list. The wedding was like a year out, but time went by so quickly, and there's so many little things that you need to do. So we definitely like empathize with all of our couples and realize how much work goes into wedding planning, and like how important it is.
I think it's really cool that you guys got to sit back and kind of look at it from the couple's point of view. I know that, we were talking the other day, and I think Megan kind of mentioned at your wedding in Italy, you guys kind of walked away maybe for photos, I think, or something, and your dads were singing. Is that right?
Yeah, so it was our welcome dinner. Everybody was drinking, having fun. I actually just went to the bathroom, and when I came back, I guess our dads had took over our live entertainer and started singing karaoke together, and everybody was talking about it, and I was like, I missed that. Like, I just randomly went to the bathroom at that point. So I think it also made us realize how important it is to have all of those things captured, especially at a destination wedding, because you as the bride and groom, you can't be in a million places at once.
But I think it was so important for you guys to kind of experience that for yourselves. So truly, you're selling and really believing in what you do.
Definitely.
I think the thing that I always notice when I'm doing photography is that wedding days kind of go by in a blur.
Yes.
And if it goes by in a blur for us, it's a split second for our couple. Mm-hmm. And I think just like what you're saying, Megan, like when you're able to step back and look back at those moments and things that you maybe didn't even see happening. Yeah. That's like kind of the magic that happens in like that blink of an eye of your wedding day. Mm-hmm.
There's so much going on, and like you just sort of just like black out, you're like, we're trying to soak everything in, but then like, what are we soaking? Like there's so much going on and you can't be everywhere. So having those memories to look back on, and like we're so grateful that after going through it ourselves, like we really value the whole experience, because a wedding is not just one day. And like, so we hired our team from the welcome dinner to the wedding day to the pool party afterwards to a winery and then a cooking class. So we got all that captured, and it's so cool to be able to look back at that, and like,
for Tessa and I, we were kind of, I guess, can we use the word fangirling over? Like,
we're watching big time fangirling.
We're watching your guys' posts, especially in Italy, and it's like, oh my gosh, look, you're in Turkey with like, this
the
beautiful
honeymoon after. My God, so jealous.
You got hot air balloons and this beautiful red dress. I mean, we'll post some pictures on our show notes and stuff. But like, for us, like it was also for all your friends back in Hawaii. Mm-hmm. We could sort of see your journey together as a couple, and that was really fun. Mm-hmm. Not just, I think for you guys, it's cool to like be able to like, document those memories, but also for everybody who's not part of it, we kind of feel like we were part of it a little bit.
A lot of couples, when they're planning out a wedding, they get lost in like, oh, we got to make these people happy. We got to like do this and do that. And like, we really just wanted to plan something that was special to us and like really represented who we were and we were stoked about and we're going to remember for the rest of our lives. So just want to create that experience. And I'm glad, you guys felt that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Joe and I just kind of talked about this on our last episode, is when the couple together plans the wedding and it becomes about them, not just one or the other, and your personalities together shine through, it just makes it even better. Mm-hmm. And I think that's exactly what, just knowing both of you personally and just watching all of your stories on Instagram, like it feels like you guys nailed it.
Yeah. Thank you. I had post-wedding depression.
I would totally, I did too, just watching you guys.
Yeah, and I think also, especially weddings these days, it really becomes about everybody else, and you're kind of, having weddings to please other people. So it's really important for us to do something that really represented us and something that we could look back on and be like, that was a cool experience. Like, when's the next time our parents are going to go to Italy or Italy together or really anything? So it was just super important.
That's exactly what every wedding should be like, where the couple gets to like have that memory for a lifetime and share that with their family and friends. Yeah. But it's also the family and friends getting to know you guys and be part of who you are as a couple. I think that's amazing. Okay, so quick question for you guys then. If you were to look at Italy or Vegas, I think I want to talk about Italy because
Italy.
That's the grand finale.
What was that one thing or that one moment that you look back as being your favorite moment? If you could, put it in a box and say, this is the moment, or this is the thing that I will never forget. Like, what is that for you guys?
I'd say the reception. I don't know, just the way it all came together. Everything just happened so fluidly and so naturally. Nothing felt really staged or like, okay, hey, now we do this. Like, like the whole formal reception program, it's like you do all these dances, the whole thing. But throughout the entire reception, everybody was very lively. Everybody was having a good time, just hanging out.
So what was that? So like, how did tell our listeners, like, what was your reception like? Like, what did you actually plan so it wasn't so static or like, like feeling like it's just prescribed? Or
we had a live band
Yeah.
I found them on Instagram. They're basically, I think, like 5 or 6 guys. They travel all over Europe and they play live music, but super lively. Like they'll get in your face and like hype you up. It'll make everybody come on the dance floor. And I think it was the perfect transition in between our reception into dancing, because it made everybody get up. Everybody was singing and dancing with them.
That kind of just adds on to, we wanted to create experiences, right? Like when we found them, they were like, we don't do stages, we don't plug into anything, we just travel, like it's all acoustic. They roam around and they vibe off everyone. And I was like, that's perfect. Like during our cocktail hour, they were vibing, they were taking requests, they were singing, they're like in your face, like doing different things. It's so fun. And so that was a great experience. I really enjoyed our welcome dinner. You know, like after planning everything for the whole year, we're all traveling together, and like you start seeing people come in like, oh, mom and dad just arrived, or like, oh, you know, those people just arrived. And then finally everyone coming together. Backstory, we had a villa. We rented a villa for all of our guests to stay for 3 nights. And that was fun because everyone was just in one spot. But then that welcome dinner was the first time everyone got to kind of hang out, eat, drink, mingle with everyone. And then things like, you know, our parents hung out with each other. We all were like drinking champagne together. Our dad sang together. So those moments really stood out to me, because it's like, that usually doesn't happen, you know, until like a wedding. Like we had a wedding, and the groom's speech was, the 2 times that someone comes together for you is when you get married and when you die. So it's like, I really took that to heart, because I was like, that's kind of true. Like, you know, what other big occasions can you celebrate like that? And
You had pizza, right? Wasn't it
Oh,
a
yeah.
pizza party?
We had a
Oh my
pizza party.
God, that's amazing.
Oh, I
pizza
love it.
party, wine, you know,
It's not
very
just-
authentic to Italy.
Italian
So
pizza,
Yeah.
though. It wasn't
Yeah.
just pizza.
Right.
Yeah,
They made
there
it right
was-
in front of you.
Yeah.
They like brought the whole pizza ovens and
I
everything.
saw.
They were
Thank
making
you.
it fresh.
I saw.
Kind of add on to what you're saying though, when you're at like a destination, you're in Italy with your family, everybody had to travel there to get there. It's a different experience. You're not working, you're not like getting your kid to school or whatever it is, like that kind of busy work of your normal everyday. Everybody is there for you, and they get to be in that same place. I think that's part of the magic, right?
And I think that's why we love destination weddings so much, because it's like, yes, everyone's traveling out to celebrate you. And, you know, even with our couples, they're celebrating you. But then, again, it's like a whole experience. And it's like your guests can turn that into a whole vacation or kind of do their own things. And, like, yeah, everyone's in vacation and celebration mode. Instead of, like, you know, if you're here, you're like, oh, I might have to do some errands in the morning and then
Yeah.
go to your ceremony. But, like,
Or
we're
you-
there, everyone's vacationing.
Yeah.
Everyone's having fun.
Everybody's there for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not like, oh, I have to take off work this day so I can go to Colina because I'm not going to drive 45 minutes there later. It's
Right.
just-
And I think we've talked about this before in a previous episode, right? With destination weddings, you're completely removed and you're fully present, right? If you're doing a local wedding, you're picking up your kids, you're vacuuming the house, you're running out the door, reception, and then you're just going right back home. So this is why, like, just with Megan and Andrew, like, this Italy wedding, like, this is exactly why we love destination weddings.
Yep.
So I just feel like everything you guys did at your Italy wedding was just over the top amazing. And I guess what we're asking is, what is some advice that you'd share with people planning a destination? What are some tips or things that you've learned that you want to share with our listeners?
The number one thing is to hire a wedding coordinator. And somebody, like, meet them first, explore your options, and hire the one that vibes with you the most.
Yes.
Because if, like, you two need to be on the same page.
How did you find your coordinator or planner in Italy? How did you actually?
I just Googled,
Yeah.
like, Italy, Tuscany wedding coordinators. I found so many. We did Zoom calls with maybe like 5 or so, and we went with the one that we just connected with the most. Her name is Chiara from Weddings in Tuscany.
We'll add her in our show notes.
She's so amazing. I think one of the hardest things was the time difference, obviously. She would send us an email with just a whole list of vendors or all these questions, and then it was kind of nice because then we had the whole day to figure out our answers, go back to her. So it's like we're talking before 7 a.m. or after 7 p.m. and like times where both of us were awake.
No, yeah, that's like the biggest thing. Even when couples call us, I'm like, do you guys have a good coordinator? It just makes sense because, like, you know, you don't know the area. And, like, even if you're from there, you don't know the wedding industry in that area. So to hire a professional that you, one, vibe with, trust, and, like, it helps a lot for sure. That's a big one. That is the absolute best advice for any wedding anywhere. For me personally, my advice, like I said earlier, a wedding is not just one day. It's a whole experience and it's multiple days. And I know a lot of couples, you know, like, They're worried about like not, or they don't even think about having your welcome dinner covered or, you know, your after party covered. So for us, we hired our wedding photo team for the entire experience. So they were there with us 4 days. They filmed and photographed everything. We became like close friends. They were hanging out with us, and it's just a good experience, you know, because it's like, you might think you don't want to see your welcome dinner or experience that, but you know, like, it's like cool, because we always hear about it on the wedding day where it's like, oh, you know, grandma gave a super sick speech at the welcome dinner. We're like, oh, why weren't we there? You know, but it's like, couples don't think about that when they're booking things, you know. So that would be my one big advice, is just to explore it at least.
So Andrew, I feel like you would probably be the most picky about choosing your photo and video team, right? How did you come about with, you know, choosing your photo and video team in Italy?
This is where our trust and our relationship and our communication skills came into play, because I knew that was going to happen. So I was like, okay, Megan, I would be too picky. I trust you. Like, so she actually found our vendors.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
She found our photo and video team. And then, you know, and then I would come in and be like, okay, cool. We connected. We Zoomed with. We actually talked to a few vendors. We just went with who we vibe with the most.
So you found your photo and video team from your Italian wedding planner.
No, we explored it, but I actually found them on TikTok and Instagram because, you know, we're in the industry, so I know Andrew's going to be super picky about it. So I just kind of looked at who I liked and then showed it to him, and we like FaceTimed with them, we vibed with them, and our wedding photographer actually did our engagement photos in Utah.
Yep, she's from Oklahoma. We flew her out, and then our video team was from San Diego, J and Mac Films, husband and wife team, super sick, you know. So it's cool because we connected, we vibed with them, and they were very similar, and we just had a good time.
So the question to bring in your team or to work with a local company is always, you know, that kind of $1 million question. Is it better to bring someone who's maybe speaks the language, you know, that you speak, or, you know, do you work with a local company? That I think that's a question when, especially international. Like, was that part of your decision, or, you know, how did you come to the decision to fly your photo and video team in?
I think for me personally, it was something that I'm so connected to.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, they can be from anywhere, but like we really vibe with this team. But yeah, I mean, I think that kind of comes off my advice, or just like hiring a good local team, whether it's your coordinator or your photo, video, and whatnot. But at the end of the day, it's like who you vibe with, who you want to experience this wedding day with, because like we all know, like we're with the wedding couple more than anyone else on their wedding day.
Right.
You know, even with each other sometimes, you know, we're with the bride longer than the groom.
Right.
And so it's like, it's so important to be able to connect with these people. And I guess to answer your question, local or not, like,
I'd say coordinator definitely should be local.
yeah, for sure.
If we hired somebody here for something in Italy, they know nothing about Italy. It's like, we might as well have planned it, right?
Okay, so what about the language, right? So your wedding was in Italy. Do you guys speak Italian? How did you navigate that? Like, was that an issue, or?
No, everybody speaks English.
Really?
Yeah.
What about your, like, was your officiant your friend, or was it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
So it's actually very difficult to get married outside of the States.
Right.
Like there's a lot of loopholes, but so we would recommend getting married in the States legally, get all that done. And I think they call it just like a celebratory wedding or something.
something
So
like
in
that.
Europe, you just like, you can have your own officiant, you can go with them, but it's just like the formal part of it, just to have fun. And then, yeah, so
You
we had
could
a
have
friend.
done an Italian officiant, because at that point you
Yep.
were already legally married, and they could have just said whatever.
Yeah.
They could have read you a menu of pastas, and you'd be like, "I do,
Yeah. But that was also something.
Linguine. I do.
I do,
Fettuccine, yes.
I do."
No, but I think that was like, again, adding to our experience. Like we wanted it to really be personal, and like our friend, all of our guests actually, they knew us both individually and together, so that was really nice. And then our friend Maurice, we asked him, and yeah, he crushed it.
Megan, I know you're the type A, you're the planner of the two, but I guess what piece of advice would you share that kind of encompasses the whole planning process? Like, what is one thing you did that you were like, this was a great thing that we did?
We actually went to Italy a year before, the same exact time we were having our wedding. So if you have the means and have the time and you're able to, I would definitely say go and do that. See your venue, walk around, meet your coordinator, taste your food, meet your florist, all of that, because it just ties in the whole experience, and then it gives you something to look forward to too.
So you guys got to taste all the food.
Oh yeah, I actually think the wedding food was probably one of our best meals.
Oh my God.
During
Ever.
that trip. No, like during that trip, we ate so many places, but when we got to sit down and eat our wedding meal, that's what we were looking forward to next year. We were like, oh, we're going to get to eat this next year.
Yeah, and to this day, everybody's like, that wedding food was so good.
That's amazing.
That's
Not
usually
bad.
never ever said. That's
That's amazing.
And yeah, so that's a good one. And then again, like I keep going back to this, but it's like a wedding day is not just one day.
Yeah.
And like being able to capture all those other moments are so crucial because it's like we got to explore Italy, Florence and whatnot. But thankfully we were with our photo and video team. So we all proposed like, hey, let's meet up for a sunrise photo session. You know, when you travel to a place like, yeah, you might be able to take your own photos and whatnot. But for us, we were like, oh, you know, again, like trusting the local team. We went to Turkey for our honeymoon, like part of the honeymoon. And we went to Cappadocia and there was like a hot air balloon experience. And there's just a whole photo experience out there that a lot of people don't know about. And yeah, you can take your own photos and whatnot. But we're like, let's just hire a photographer there. He knows all the spots. He knows the good timing. He has all the connections. We just hired him. He told us where we needed to be, what we needed to wear, and we just got some sick photos and video out of it.
Yeah, and I can imagine as, you know, someone who is a creative, you know, to see that too, and like to see that come to life for your own photos, pretty epic.
And I think the amazing thing is that you know, just throughout this whole experience, you as a videographer just fully trusted the process and trusted other people to do this amazing job, and they did, right? And I love that.
Yeah, that's like a big one. And I think that all comes down to like, just gotta vibe with your people. You gotta trust them, and you just gotta like enjoy your day.
Yeah.
Soak it all in.
Guys, this is going to be a really hard question, but you had 3 weddings. Of the 3 weddings, was there a favorite?
I think they all had their own meaning behind all of them that we did. Obviously, the Lonnie wedding was just for family. It was really intimate. It was really meaningful. Our Vegas one was just our friends having a good time, no stress. And then Italy was kind of the grand finale, like, and it was what we wanted, which was really special to us.
Right.
Yeah, we did a lot of things in that Italy wedding, kind of just to celebrate and, you know, create the experiences. Yeah, and there are things that like people don't think about. Like I really wanted a CO2 gun.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. You can see the photos and video of that, but like that was so fun for the party. We did like a champagne tower just to kind of toast everyone, and you know that was an experience. Oh, we did a exit. A lot of people do that, but we did like a sparkler exit, and that was cool just to kind of bring all the guests out and get cool photo and video out of it. You know.
And we did a choreographed first dance.
Oh yeah, that's a big one.
We took dance classes.
We're going to need those videos.
Yeah.
We took a class for 10 weeks.
Like every week?
Every week.
Yeah.
For 10 weeks.
And that was cool because like it's both out of our comfort zone and it was a new experience for us. So it was kind of like we were bonding even more before our wedding, you know, like learning something new together and like getting close together.
How did the dance go? Was it good?
was
Did you guys
cool.
kill it?
Can
Yeah.
you do it now?
We were like, if we had to do it again, we probably could. But
Honestly, a lot of my couples that take the dance classes, it becomes like that weekly date night.
yes, yeah.
And like you said, like it's just that intimate connection that you kind of forget when you're in that hustle and bustle of work and wedding planning and everything else. Right? It removes you, which is really nice.
Yeah, it was really fun. And we didn't tell anybody that we were doing a choreographed first dance too.
So
and
everybody was stoked. Like, it was so
yeah,
fun,
everybody
yeah.
was just shocked.
Yeah.
I think that's the best when it's a surprise.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the best. Well, this has been so much fun to have you guys on as our first guests, to actually have wedding professionals and a newlywed that had 3 weddings. Like, you couldn't be a better guest for us. I learned a lot. Did you learn a lot?
I learned so much, and I think they brought in some really, really good points that we've talked about before that I think you need to vibe with your vendors. So important. And I've always believed that if you don't vibe with your vendors, it's going to be rough the whole time. So I love that one.
And trusting your vendors.
Trusting
They're
your vendors
professionals.
and just
Yeah.
kind of stepping back, right? I love the fact that Megan, who has said she's type A, was able to step back and just enjoy herself. And that's amazing on your wedding day to just soak it all in.
Yeah, no, thank you for having us. It was, you know, when you guys first reached out, like, I don't know, like, do we have anything to share and whatnot?
You guys
But
are celebrities.
No.
Oh my God.
But then we thought about it and we were like, you know, we do want to share this with everyone, especially your podcast, because it's like talking about wedding experiences and especially destination weddings. You know, it's such an amazing experience, and I hope everybody gets to, you know, be able to do that. So thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
All right. And with that, it is a wrap.
Woo!
Before we end, though, really quick, Andrew, Megan, where do we find out more about Redefined Weddings and your podcast? Tell us a little bit about where our listeners can access that.
Oh, yeah. Redefined Weddings, Instagram at Redefined Weddings, website, redefinedweddings.com. And then, yeah, for the podcast, Uncut Hawaii on Instagram and Spotify and YouTube.
Thanks again for listening, guys. Please like, follow, subscribe, listen. We are on Spotify and Apple and anywhere else you listen to your podcast.
All right. And with that, Arrivederci.
Arrivederci.
Linguini.
Fettuccine.
Ciao, ciao.
Ah, that's a good one.
Thank you.
All
Ciao.
right. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Unveiling Paradise.
If you enjoy our show, please follow us and rate us on Spotify or wherever you listen to podcasts. It would really mean a lot.
And don't forget to also get on our mailing list and follow us on Instagram. Just do it already.
Until next time, this is Tessa.
And this is Joe.
And don't forget, your happily ever after
It's just a plane ride away.